So I made James some coconut cream maple walnut ice cream because maple walnut's his favorite. And we're going to be reviewing these books. And wow, a mosquito bit me on the hand, right? Well, anyway. Yeah. So I put this one on the top because it was our favorite out of those ones. So
my favorite, your favorite.
Yeah. We both read this one, and it's supposed to be for kids, and it's a great kid story. There's a wonderful artwork, and let's see what I wrote down. Did I write anything? Oh, I did. Okay. June 14th. So this was a while ago. I loved reading this story. It was exactly the story I needed to read today. The girl and dog on the cover reminded me of myself and my dog Annafrid, who died from COVID the other day. God made sure that Momo and her dog were safe while on their adventure and had good fortune. I have faith that God will keep both me and my Annafrid safe on our adventure, and we will have good fortune that finds us together again. Until we see each other again, I will give love to other dogs who need my love, and my angels will make sure that Annafrid is well loved in the spirit world. So that's what I review for that one. What would you have to say about this book?
I think it was written in 48. It's about someone from Tibet, a girl from Tibet. 1 year before the commies took it over. And yes, I use commie as a term of abuse. It's well deserved.
Hello, darling.
And so, a little spoiler alert. Being I run.
I'm going to put him in.
Yeah.
You can stay out, Angel. Come on. You can
better go inside.
Talk about it.
Anyway.
Come on, Opie.
Sorry about that. Ope has a loud voice. Ope. Anyway, spoiler alert. It's written by, it looks as though maybe an English woman, and the English had just gotten out of India, and this is set in India, Sikkim, I'm not sure where the accent comes there, and India itself. And
you okay, little old lady?
The Brits are kind of portrayed as being okay folks. I'm part South Asian ancestry, so I've been told. And yeah, by comparison with what preceded, i.e. the Mughal Empire, the Mongols had no business being in India any more than the English did. But the English got out of there without a huge big war. Oh, that had something to do with Gandhi. No, swallows, but also something to do with the English. No, you don't see the English going around saying, hey, India was an integral part of our empire once, and gosh darn damn it, we're going to get it back. Who thinks that way? Oh, commies or former commies like Putin. Gosh damn darn it, Ukraine was part of our empire, and gosh damn darn it, we're going to get it back. Doesn't matter the cost to them. So, spoiler alert for you idiots who are going around thinking that only white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male heterosexual able-bodied people are evil in this world. Anyway, it's a darn good story. Yeah, here's an example of the illustration. Well, on the front, and I'm too busy eating this ice cream cone. It is awesome. That's coconut cream.
Yep. So all I did to
can't tell the difference. I don't like coconut cream milk that much. There is a kind of milk that way.
Yeah.
But this, you cannot tell. All your taste is the walnuts.
Yeah. Well,
and
I put
the ice.
Maple syrup.
Oh, that helps
coconut
too.
cream, and vanilla extract.
Mm.
And then I added the walnuts later. So I started making it in a Cuisinart soft serve machine that I think was broken before I bought it from the thrift store. So, but because it did
worked
not
somehow or
work
another.
very well. Well, it mixed it up.
It mixed it up, but it didn't set. I'm telling
No.
you, speaking
So I
of
had
setting,
to do it.
you notice how
the
it's not
old-fashioned
melting?
Yeah. It's very frozen.
Doesn't melt it. Oh, it's very frozen. I was saying it doesn't melt as fast, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. But yeah,
And
it's
I
very
didn't
good.
have an ice cream scoop because we don't eat ice cream because James is lactose intolerant, and
Mhm.
that would kill me fast if I decided to start eating ice cream again. So anyway, this book, Shadow Bridge by Gregory Frost. I didn't care for the first half, but then started to get into it. The parade and description of the garden afterwards were my favorite parts. Very well written,
Now,
that part.
you would recommend maybe that I read this one?
If you want to. You
It's
don't have
it's
to.
a fantasy
I'm
sort of thing.
currently
I'm not a big fan
reading
of
the
fantasy.
second one, the next one in this series. I don't know how many there were. I only have the two. But at first I was thinking, oh, well, it's kind of like Family Guy, the way, like in the Shadow Bridge, there, the main character, she's a storyteller, and she tells stories with puppets. And so I was thinking, oh, puppets? That's kind of lame. Who'd want to read them? And then I was thinking, well, the little stories that are scattered throughout the thing, like her little stories, whatever. I thought, well, that's sort of like Family Guy, the way they do different segue
Yeah.
things,
Mhm.
whatever. But the stories are entertaining all along the way, and I don't know, I got into it. So
Yeah. Family Guy, no story. All, what do you call it? Segues
all
or
segues,
whatever.
basically, yeah. So anyway, that's all I really had to say about this one. Now, Hard Boiled Love. Read Dawn and Ron. That story is art. The mention of the pecking of the school children by birds, and the way she kissed like she was pecking. The mention of Psycho Norman pretending to be his mom, and Vertigo, a man, and making a woman play another woman. I should have seen it coming, but didn't. Page 155. Isn't the answer HFEK? That seems most obvious, but there are other possibilities. GGIF, DHFG, EHFG, EIGK, FIKE, FIGE. So really the most interesting thing about that question is the missing J. Anyhow, these stories were written to interest men who don't really like women. I expect something different when I read Noir Love on the cover, honestly.
There was a lot of noir in it and not much love in it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It wasn't honestly, it wasn't as noir as I thought it would be. It was mostly just making men seem like they were maybe better than or on average, and making women seem like they're a whole lot worse than they were.
It's funny, I was reading a book about Jack the Ripper right after it, and I was going, it wasn't much of a segue. No.
Bear and His Daughter stories, Robert Stone. I enjoyed the story called Helping quite a bit. I didn't really care for the rest of the book. I did enjoy Bear and His Daughter. It seemed like fake art. It tried too hard to be real art, but totally missed the mark. I hoped for better. No one should bother reading this book. It was not. What did you think? Because you read that one too, did you not?
Burned Out Hippie, it looks like that. Yeah, I read it. Too much. I think he's trying to do Hunter S. Thompson only with fiction or stuff like that. Funny thing is, when I first ran across Hunter S. Thompson, and that was in real time, back when they did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Not his earliest stuff. I think it was 71 in Rolling Stone. I was following it as it came out. I thought it was fiction. All the drug use. And then I realized that long after that Buddy, Hunter S. Thompson, was consuming stuff, horrible rape And he ended up burning out his mine before he blew it away. I guess he shot himself, presumably. Somewhere in the head. That was 2005, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, there's just too much drugs and other arms. And
I don't remember any of that in there. Was
drugs?
there? Yeah. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah. You remember the one about the sailing ship? They were running drugs.
No. It's been a while since I read it.
And then,
I didn't care for
you
it.
know, the last one about Bear and his daughter. The daughter was stoned.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
They
Yeah.
just ran
They were
through
both
it again.
stoned.
And on alcohol, whatever. So,
Okay.
does not come recommended. I just thought the guy looked interesting, kind of. Not my generation, thank heavens. I mean, this guy's way older than I am. And he's looking about as old as I am now. And I've got cancer and had it for quite a while. So, wow, okay. Maybe I'm flattering myself, but I don't think so. When was this guy born? Not sure, but he's not that much older than me, and this was put out in the 90s, I think.
A lot of the books that I've been meaning
97.
to get to that are fiction in my basement were put out a long time ago.
25 years ago, and this guy, geez, I don't know what he was doing. Smoking, pot.
The Wildcatter. I put, this book is offensive and inaccurate. I think James would enjoy, enjoy, reading this. Page 9, Undeniably Arab Lands. I don't even remember what that was called.
Yeah, don't
Let's
worry
see
about
what
it,
that
I'll
was.
explain it.
Oh, you'll explain that? So, oh yeah, that would take a lot of
Yeah,
explanation.
it would take a lot of explanation.
I put 1850 BC. Jews went in, Arabs went in 635 AD. Jews were there 2485 years before, and Arabs had before the Arabs had any claim to it. The Jews were there 2 times as long before the Arabs came in and occupied it. The Jews have been in those lands 3 times as long as the Arabic people now. The Jews are the natives there. It is undeniable that they have the right to occupy their native land. So,
they are the indigenous people there.
anyway.
The settler colonialists are the Arabs. The only Arabs that have any ancient claim to that area are called Samaritans. And we've got the record of when they were moved in. They were moved in well after the Jews.
To the Gaza Strip?
No, they actually have a right to the central part of it, around what was anciently called Samaria. So the capital of the 10 lost tribes is called Israel. The Assyrians, ancient Assyrians called it, the Assyrians still exist, although I gather a lot of them were whacked by ISIS. And incidentally, they're the natives of Iraq, at least the northern part of Iraq, and they're Christians now. The natives in Iraq are not Arab. You got that straight? They're Assyrians in the northern part of Iraq, and they're not the extreme northern part of Iraq. And they're Christians now. You got that? You silly people are going around complaining about this, that, and the other thing. Now, they're what the Globe and Mail call chattering classes, but what? Chattering? Nattering classes. Hey, smattering classes. You get a smattering of reading and think you know everything. Okay. So the northern tribes, it was called Israel in the Bible. It's called Bit Omri, the house of Omri, the father of Ahab, by the Assyrians. And the Assyrians conquered it in 721 under Shalmaneser V, and they started exiling those folks. And that exile was continued the next year by Sargon II, the successor. I don't think he was the son of Shalmaneser V. It might have been his brother. Which is always a bit of a usurper. So the Syrians would have liked the products that were produced from there, olive oil, whatever. And they didn't want an empty land, so they brought in, this is not a record in the Bible, it's the Assyrian record. Okay, got that clear in nattering classes? And they brought in people from the Arabian Peninsula. And those people eventually became the Samaritans. So 700 years later, Jesus had a few things to say about the Good Samaritan. And, like talking to a Samaritan woman and stuff like that when he was passing through from Judea to Galilee or vice versa. I can't remember exactly which direction he was heading, north or south. So, yeah, those are the only Arabs who have an ancient claim to the so-called Holy Land, so-called Palestine. Palestine is an imperial designation. I had someone take exception recently to me calling it so-called Palestine. Well, how long has that been? Designation? You shouldn't be saying that. Blah, 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 blah. And it was actually applied to the whole land, I gather, by the Romans, presumably after 135 AD, when they did their second ethnic cleansing of the Jews from that area. Of course, it didn't take. Ethnic cleansings have to be maintained, or people drift back to places that they are native to. And but they called it Palestine instead of Judea and Galilee. Got that clear? So it's a imperialist designation. Now I gather the name for that area is included in Syria by the Arabs. They call it something like Shams. And might have left a syllable off. But, that's what ISIS is talking about. And that's part of the acronym, Shams. It includes Palestine, so-called Palestine. It's really Israel. That's straight. Except for the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is really what Palestine is. What the Romans did is they saw this area on the coast, what we call the Gaza Strip. It included the city of Gaza. It's a very ancient city. And that's where the Philistines live. Philistine is just the Hebrew, our translation of the Hebrew designation for the people who lived there in the Gaza Strip, and they were Semitic people, are Semitic people, they speak Arabic now, and they would have been colonized by Arabs themselves, and they've, of course, collaborated in spreading into areas that were traditionally and legitimately, as legitimate as you can get, when the Jews or the Hebrews stole the land. When would it have been? Roughly 1850 BC. It's a long time ago. Long before the Philistines or Palestinians, whatever you want to call them, stole the land. And long after Arabs helped steal the land. So it was revived, the term Palestine, in modern times by the imperialists called the British, after roughly 1920 AD. And the Arabs wouldn't have been that enthused about that sort of stuff, because you see, you get even now Hamas, a terrorist organization working out of, they're in power in the Gaza Strip and working in so-called West Bank. And they didn't really accept that designation. You get Hamas calling for Turkey to reinstate the caliphate. They don't believe in nationalism and stuff like that. So what they want to see is the Turkish Empire, Ottoman Empire, reinstituted, and they want to be part of it. And so they don't want to be a separate entity, Palestine or something like that. You did get pan-Arab nationalists in the Middle East. Nasser really made that a going thing for a while, and you have, or nastier, as maybe could have been called, or Nazier. He did work, not exactly, he's kind of more like a contract killer for the Nazis during World War II. I think Sadat, his successor, was even more closely tied to the Nazis, German Nazis, like the real Nazis, not what you nattering classes characterize the Jews as being. That's like there's this thing, people who were following Donald Trump while he was president, maybe still following him, pants on fire. And Donald Trump was proud of telling lies and stuff like that and getting away with it. But make no mistake, telling lies. But I'm telling you, when you nattering classes go out and say, as you characterize them, Zionists or Nazis, that's not pants on fire. That's not underwear on fire, shorts and panties on fire. It's short and curlies on fire, okay? Get that straight? Now, Yasser Arafat was kind of unusual amongst the Arab nationalists. He wasn't a pan-Arab nationalist. Apparently he just wanted his own little fiefdom or something like that. Fiefdom's not a good designation, but he wanted his own little terrorist state. He would have ideally wanted the whole shebang, all of Israel, and all of the Holy Land, I should say, which is Israel in the way it was in ancient time. So, not recommended. Bear and his daughter, not recommended. I've never been a big fan of noir stuff. Noir Batman, Frank Miller is awful stuff. How can you take something that...
Okay, but what about this book?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Wildcatter?
I was summing up, but I forgot it. Wildcatter. It's kind of, he's got a character actually saying that, and it's kind of mixed in with the narrative.
Yep. Okay. So I didn't.
And spoiler alert!
I didn't read the book. I passed over to after a while.
The ending is a surprise ending. You gave up on it.
I gave up on it.
The ending is a surprise ending, and that's all I'm going to give away. It's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be, and a lot of you nattering classes aren't going to like the ending, but there we go. So the guy who was nattering that, kind of like, almost like the narrator, he's wrong. He's wrong about a lot of things. And you'll see how wrong. If you're at all interested. I know you're not terribly interested in anything that isn't like an echo chamber for your nattering. You probably signed off a long time ago. But tune in next time, because we got lots of books. I've been slamming away, even though I've been memorizing a lot of geography and stuff like that, which you don't go through books very fast. I've been slamming away about a book a day. The last little while.